All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something super interesting.
Okay.
The link between how teachers are trained and the health of their students.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we've got some fascinating research from Monash University,
Oh, wow.
a survey of Australian primary school principals, and it reveals a connection you might not expect.
That sounds really interesting.
So you're probably thinking about, as a listener,
Yeah.
like giving kids the best start in life, right?
Right.
And that includes their health.
Absolutely.
Well, this research found that a lack of properly trained teachers is a big problem in Australian primary schools,
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
especially when it comes to health and physical education.
Yeah, particularly in those younger years,
Yeah.
those really formative years.
So it's not just about kids enjoying gym class.
No, not at all.
We're talking about foundational skills that can impact their health for years to come.
It's true. And did you know that, if kids don't master things,
Oh.
like running and jumping by age 7,
Really?
they're much less likely to be active in sports and other activities later on.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that significant.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like if you don't get it by 7, you're
Yeah.
you're kind of.
You're kind of
So
for life almost.
it seems like schools are aware of this. Why aren't there more teachers specializing in health and PE?
That's a good question.
Is it like a funding problem or?
That's where the research gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's not just about adding more teachers. It's about the type of training they receive.
Oh, interesting.
Right now, there are specialist HPE teachers
Okay.
who are experts in fitness and movement, but often lack general teaching skills.
So they might know how to teach a perfect cartwheel,
Exactly.
but struggle with things like classroom management or understanding how young children learn.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
And on the other hand, you have generalist teachers who are fantastic at creating a supportive learning environment,
Right.
but haven't had the specialized training to teach HPE effectively.
Yeah. So you've got your specialist and your generalist, but neither is quite the right fit
It's true.
for this
age group.
It seems like a catch-22.
It creates a gap where neither type of teacher is fully equipped to provide developmentally appropriate HPE
Right.
in those crucial early years.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. Specialist HPE teachers may excel at designing exciting games and activities,
Uh-huh.
but might miss the cues that a child is struggling with the basic movements.
Oh, I see.
And generalist teachers, while great at nurturing the whole child, may not know how to adapt activities
Okay.
for different learning styles and physical abilities.
It sounds like we need a teacher who can do both.
That's exactly what the research proposes.
Okay.
A new kind of teaching degree. It
Interesting.
would qualify graduates as both generalist primary teachers and specialist primary HPE teachers.
Interesting. So a sort of hybrid teacher
Yeah.
who is comfortable in both the classroom and on the playground.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a theoretical idea.
Yeah.
Over 80% of the principals surveyed
Wow.
were highly supportive of this new dual qualification.
Okay, so principals are really on board with this.
They see it as a win-win,
Yeah.
not just for student health,
Uh-huh.
but for academic performance as well.
Wait, how does better HPE translate to better grades?
Well, when kids are physically active,
Oh,
it benefits their brain power too.
interesting.
It helps with their focus,
Okay.
their memory, even their ability to manage their emotions.
Oh,
All of those things play a huge role
right.
in how well they learn in the classroom.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's all connected.
It is.
But I can't help but wonder, wouldn't implementing a whole new type of teaching degree
Yeah.
be a massive undertaking?
It would certainly require a shift
Yeah.
in how teacher training programs are structured.
Yeah, I can imagine like logistically it would be
Yeah.
a lot of changes.
For sure.
But the potential benefits are so significant that many believe it's worth exploring.
I think so too.
You mentioned that principals are on board.
Uh-huh.
Would this also be a positive change for teachers themselves?
Absolutely. This dual qualification could attract a wider range of people to the teaching profession,
Interesting.
especially those who are passionate about both child development and physical well-being.
So people who are maybe on the fence about going into teaching?
Exactly. It
Like
could be
the-
the thing that tips them over.
Yeah.
And
And I imagine it would be especially beneficial for rural and remote schools
Definitely.
that often struggle to attract specialist teachers of any kind.
Yeah.
So instead of needing two teachers, they could have one amazing teacher who can fill both roles.
That's a great point. It could really help to level the playing field
Yeah.
and ensure that all students have access to quality HPE regardless of their location.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
So we've got this problem, lack of teachers equipped to deliver effective health and PE. And the proposed solution is a new dual qualification that combines general primary teaching
Yeah.
with specialist HPE training.
Right.
But are there any potential drawbacks to this approach?
Well, some critics might argue that it's asking too much of teachers
Yeah.
to be experts in so many areas.
Yeah, I could see that being a concern.
Yeah. Could this lead to burnout or a diluted quality of instruction in either area?
That's a valid concern, and I imagine cost would be a factor as well.
Uh-huh.
Would universities be able to adapt their programs without a significant increase in tuition?
Those are definitely important considerations.
Yeah.
And of course, any large-scale change to the education system will have its challenges.
Right.
But the potential benefits of this approach are hard to ignore.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
it is.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem
Yeah,
and a potential solution and some things to think about moving forward.
exactly.
Awesome.
I'm excited to hear what's next.
Me too. This new approach to teacher training sounds like it could be a real game changer.
I think so too.
It's not just about ticking boxes and meeting curriculum requirements. It's about understanding that a
Yeah.
child's physical well-being is intertwined with their ability to learn and thrive
Exactly.
in all areas.
It's about moving away from the siloed approach to education and recognizing those connections.
Yeah,
If we kind of connect this to the bigger picture,
yeah,
what we're really talking about is investing in the future.
okay.
Healthier, more engaged students are more likely to become successful, well-rounded adults
Right.
who contribute positively to society.
And wouldn't it be amazing if this model could also help to address the shortage of teachers,
Yeah,
particularly in rural and remote areas?
absolutely.
We talked about how challenging it is to attract specialized teachers to those locations.
Oh, for sure.
This dual qualification could be a real solution.
Totally. And that's something that really resonated with the principals in the study.
Oh, interesting.
They see this as a way to not only improve the quality of HPE instruction, but also to make teaching in those underserved areas more attractive.
Right. So it's good for students. It's good for schools.
Yeah.
It could be a win-win for everyone.
It really could.
This research has certainly challenged my assumptions about teacher training.
Yeah.
It's made me realize that it's not just about subject matter expertise.
Right.
It's about understanding the whole child and how different areas of learning impact one another.
And what's fascinating here is this approach aligns with what we know about child development.
Okay.
Young children learn best through play and movement.
Uh-huh.
Their brains are wired to explore and experiment.
Yeah.
So why not embrace that in our teaching methods?
Instead of viewing HPE as a separate subject, we should see it as an integral part of a holistic education.
Exactly. And this research provides a framework for how to do that effectively.
Okay.
It's not just about adding more PE classes to the schedule.
Yeah.
It's about having teachers who are equipped to integrate movement and physical activity into all aspects of learning.
So how would this actually work in practice?
Yeah. Can you give us an example?
Imagine a classroom where instead of sitting at desks for hours, students are learning math concepts through active games
Okay.
or exploring history through dramatic movement activities.
I love that it sounds so much more engaging
Yeah.
and fun for the kids.
Definitely. And it's not just about keeping them entertained.
Right.
It's about tapping into their natural learning styles and helping them make connections in a way that sticks.
So we've talked about the benefits for students in schools.
Yeah.
But what about the teachers themselves?
Yeah.
Wouldn't this kind of training be a lot more demanding?
It would definitely require a more comprehensive and integrated approach to teacher education.
Right.
But think about the rewards for teachers who are passionate about both child development and physical well-being.
Yeah.
They would have the opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of their students.
Right.
Not just academically, but physically and emotionally as well.
It seems like it could be a much more holistic and fulfilling
Way to approach teaching.
for sure. And imagine the impact this could have on teacher satisfaction and retention.
Right.
We know that burnout is a major issue in the teaching profession.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps by giving teachers the tools and support they need to nurture the whole child,
Yeah.
we could create a more sustainable and rewarding career path.
That's a powerful idea. And it all stems from this seemingly simple shift
It does.
in how we approach teacher training.
It really highlights the importance of looking beyond the traditional boundaries of education and being open to new possibilities.
It's about thinking outside the box and recognizing that sometimes the most effective solutions
Yeah.
are the ones that challenge our assumptions.
This research has definitely given us a lot to think about.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wow, it's amazing how much we've uncovered just from, looking at this one study about teacher training.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it would lead to such a wide-ranging conversation about, like, the future of education?
I know it's true. It really speaks to how interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
We started with this issue of kids not getting enough, quality health and physical education.
Right.
And now we're talking about like attracting teachers to rural areas
Mm-hmm.
and even like preventing burnout.
Yeah, it really highlights the need to think holistically about all of this.
I agree.
You can't just focus on one aspect of education in isolation.
Exactly.
It's all part of a bigger picture.
And it makes you wonder what other like unexpected connections
Yeah.
we might be missing.
Oh, totally.
What other like seemingly small changes could have this ripple effect
Uh-huh.
throughout the entire system?
That's a great question, and this has certainly opened my eyes to the possibilities.
Good.
But I also have to be honest, it feels a bit daunting.
Yeah.
Like, where do we even begin to make these kinds of changes?
Well, I think, this research gives us a starting point at least.
Okay.
It provides like evidence-based recommendations
Mm-hmm.
that policymakers and educators
Yeah.
can use to inform their decisions.
So it's not just like a theoretical idea, it's like a practical roadmap
That's a practical roadmap.
for creating a better future
Yeah.
for our kids.
For our kids, for sure.
And as we've discussed, this approach has the potential to benefit not only students, but teachers as well.
Absolutely.
Imagine a world where teachers feel empowered and equipped
Yeah.
to nurture the whole child,
Right.
leading to greater job satisfaction and a more sustainable teaching workforce.
Now, that's a vision worth striving for.
It certainly is. So to our listeners out there, I hope this deep dive has inspired you to think differently about the connections between health education and the well-being of our children.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those day-to-day challenges of education, but it's important to step back and kind of remember the bigger picture.
Totally.
What we're really doing is shaping the future.
And we have the power to create a future where all children have the opportunity to thrive, both physically and academically. So let's keep asking those tough questions, exploring new possibilities, and advocating for changes that will benefit generations to come.
Well said. Until next time, keep diving deep.